Hi, this is Morten from TC Electronic, hanging with Eric Smith in the Snap studio in the UK. Eric, when did you start playing music?
I actually started playing music at 5 years old. I was playing drums with my dad's gospel group. I shouldn't say that. I started playing drums at 5. He let me play around 7 or 8 and yelled at me like every time, you know, whether I was doing good or bad. So he was tough on us. My brother was a guitar player, amazing. So I switched to bass at around age 15. Got bored with drums. Plus I don't think I was that good to make it a career, but started playing bass and the rest has been history.
Playing with Rihanna right now, how it's going?
It's going great. I've been with her about 6 years, and we tour a lot, and she keeps breaking records, you know, sell out crowds. For example, 10 straight sold out shows at O2 Arena in London.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty huge.
Yeah.
It's pretty major.
Do you have a bass player favorite, or who are you influenced by?
I'm influenced by a guy who's like, he's the best kept secret ever. Really good friend of mine, his name is Derek Allen. Okay. He goes by DOA, out of Sacramento, California. Kind of grew up with him, like a big brother to me. Like ridiculous player. So he's one of the reasons I wanted to learn how to play bass, because I would watch him play and just like, oh my God, you know, and for a long time it was hard for me to not sound like him. Okay. Because I like literally watched him like a group, even though it was like we might as well have came out the same womb. I mean, that's how close we are, but I would just watch him play like, he's like, all right, you play. No? You know, so yeah, I mean, he's like one of my favorite players ever. I was more into funk players growing up, you know, like, I think it was because certain songs, the bass stood out, like Cameo, you know, Aaron Mills, their bass player, you know, Slave, all the stuff was funk driven. I mean, Rick James, Larry Graham, of course. Yeah. Marcus Miller came later because I wasn't really hip to like all the early stuff he did with like, you know, Bernard Wright and all those guys. Yeah. So once I found out about him, I was like, wow, you could actually do that on a bass, you know. So I mean, even though Jocko is like the legend, but I never really got into Jocko because I wanted to be more of a funk player then, because I figured there was so many people trying to play like him. Yeah. You know, that somebody had to lay foundation. I wanted that to be me, you know. So.
So that do you think that's the most important role of being a bass player, laying down the foundation?
Definitely. Yeah. I feel like, okay, like this bass has a short neck, but this is bass to me. I think if they wanted me to play down here, they would have called it treble. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's like, so anytime I see a guy's bass and this part of the neck is dirty, I'm like, you skipped over something. You know, because I mean, it's good if you're trying to be a soloist, if you're trying to be like a Victor Wooten type of guy or a Stanley Clarke who's an artist, I get it. But if you want to work, I mean, you have to learn foundation. That's why, like, even right now, you can listen to like an old James Brown record. Actually, it can be in a club that they're playing like pop music, all the latest music today, all the big hits. At the end of the night, they put on some old James Brown, and the funk in there, ding it. It's still killing, and it's gonna be killing 20 years from now. Because I mean, the bass player is not doing anything technically hard, but I mean, he's just laying it on the one. Him and the drummer are like this. So, I mean, that's my favorite players are those type of players. Like, I mean, people that have facility but know how to hold back on it. Yeah. You know, I mean, like Uriah, prime example. I mean. Good friend of mine, bad dude, you know, I mean, has some facility, but doesn't get bored playing bass. You know what I mean? So those are the type of guys that if I needed somebody like, yo, I need somebody to come sub this Rihanna gig for me, somebody like Uriah would be perfect because he's going to listen to the situation and he knows not to bring a sword to a gunfight. You know, he's going to listen to the music like, okay, I don't know about his key bass playing though, so let me take that back, Uriah. I'll get back to you on that. Nah, that's my dude. But yeah, so yeah, that's definitely what I'm into.